day to you all. In this video, let's study the structure of microsporangium and how exactly the development of the microsporangium initiates on the thalamus of the flower. The stigmatic surface, the long style, the basal swollen portion, also called the ovary, the thalamus, the pedicel, the filament of the anther lobes, and a connective. Very young anther. This is also called the stamen or stamen, also called microsporophyll, 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 containing a microsporangium. Development of microsporangium, development of microsporangium, development of microsporangium. These are the petals, like this, and the sepals like this, the flower, typical flower, the pedicel, the sepal, the petal, the androecium and the gynoecium. This is the microsporophyll, also called the stamen. Yet in very early stages of the growth and development of the microsporangium on the thalamus of the flower, if you take the section of a very young anther, it reveals at in very early stages of the growth and development of the microsporangium. Four vertical rows of cells become apparent. Four vertical rows of cells at each lobe. So the anther this is the connective of the anther. Connective. One anther lobe, another anther lobe, and this is the filament of the anther. Filament of the anther. Filament of the anther. There are two lobes. Each lobe contain the two microsporangia or a pollen sacs or a loculi. The transverse section of the young anther reveals the presence of four loculi like this. Four loculi or four microsporangia. Four microsporangia. Like this. The filament. cut section filled with the microspores. Filled with the microspores. This is the point of the attachment of the filament where the that is the vesicular tissue lies. One lobe, another lobe, the two locules, also called two microsporangia. Development of microsporangia begins on the thalamus of the flower in such a situation, in such a way that this is one lobe, this is another lobe of the anther of the microsporophyll. At a very early stages of the growth and development of the microsporangium, at each lobe, a group of homogeneous mass of the meristematic cells become prominent. Means what? Epidermal cells like this, epidermal cells, group of meristematic cells. All of them are identical and fitted together very tightly. Like this. At a very early stages of the growth and development of the microsporangium and microspores, here at each and every lobe of the anther, a group of homogeneous mass of the cells become apparent, containing dense amount of the cytoplasm and a prominent nuclei. Here also the same group of cells or a mass of cells. All of the cells of all are identical. What happens actually? At a very early stages of the growth and development of the microsporangium within the anther, at each lobe of the anther, a cell with dense amount of the cytoplasm and a prominent nucleus, it becomes apparent. This cell known as like this. This cell, it is a meristematic in nature. It divides, forming the outer parietal cell and an inner, the sporogenous cell, also known as archisporium cell. The inner archisporium cell and an outer parietal cell, and this is the anther wall, the wall of the anther, like this. The sporogenous, also called archisporium cell. This is the parietal cell. The outer parietal cell that situates towards the epidermis undergoes repeated divisions. It divides anticlinally and periclinally to form 2 to 3 layers of cells. 2 to 3 layers of the cells. So the outer parietal cell divides repeatedly tangentially. That means what? Anticlinally and periclinally to form 2 to 3 layers of the cells. At last, this outer parietal cell actually forms the wall of the anther, made up of outer epidermis, inner endothelium, middle layer, and innermost layer known as the tapetum. The wall of the anther, epidermis, like that. I will show you here. Here. At a very early stages of the growth and development of the microsporangium on the thalamus of the flower, at each lobe of the anther, cell with the dense protoplasmic content becomes apparent. These meristematic cells are identical and are tangentially arranged together at a very early stages of the growth and development. Again, cell with the dense amount of the cytoplasm and the nucleus, it divides so that outer parietal cell and inner sporogenous cell will be formed. This inner sporogenous cell, also known as archisporium cells. Outer parietal cells repeatedly divides anticlinally and periclinally to form 2 to 3 layers of the cells. One layer, second layer, like that. 2 to 3 layers of the cells. 2 to 3 layers of the cells. Every microsporangium usually covered by the 4 layers of the cells. Like that, the outer layer known as the epidermis, inner layer endothelium, and a middle layer, and a tapetum. These are the distinct 4 layers together actually form the wall of the anther. Very young anther shows the presence of 4 distinct layers of the cells. Outermost layer of the cells of the anther wall known as epidermis. The layer of the cells next to the epidermis known as the endothelium, and in between the tapetum and the endothelium there lies a middle layer, and next it is the tapetum. The layer of the cells that are directly abutting upon the inner inner the sporogenous cells or archisporium cells known as the tapetum. Okay, known as the tapetum. In this way, in this fashion, the development of the microsporangium takes place on the thalamus of the flower. Here what happens, uh, gradually on maturation, distinct for the layers of the wall of the anther appears. So here I can show you the outer wall of the anther, that is the epidermis, like this, epidermis. The cells of the epidermis are barrel shaped cells arranged side by side to form the layer known as the epidermis, like this, epidermis, another epidermis. Next to the all the cells of the epidermis are also identical, arranged side by side to form a layer known as the epidermis. Epidermal cells are also contain maybe lignified, containing a lignin substance. When this layer, when the entire microsporophyll or a stamen, very young and still developing, these cells of the epidermis may also contain the chlorophyll pigments and undergo photosynthesis. Anyhow, the epidermal cells are identical, arranged side by side to form a epidermis. And inner to the epidermis, there lies a endothecium. This endothecium play a very significant role in the process of the enthesis, that is nothing but the breaking up of the wall of the anther or rupturing of the wall of the anther, and the dehiscence of the microspores or the pollen grains is known as the enthesis. Rupturing of the wall of the anther takes place in different plants, in different the flowers of the plants differently. It may be a longitudinal, or a transverse, or sometimes the porous, sometimes valvular, Suppose that this is the connective of the anther, the two anther lobes, okay. In a longitudinal dehiscence of the anther, the two longitudinal slits will be formed here at each lobe of the anther. This is nothing but a longitudinal dehiscence of the anther. In transverse dehiscence of the anther, the connective of the anther, the two lobe, one lobe and the another lobe, transverse slits will be formed here. Such a dehiscence of the anther is known as transverse dehiscence. In a porous type of the dehiscence of the anther, here what happens, at the tip of the anther lobes, two small pores will be formed. Through these pores, the dehiscence of the anther takes place. Means what? The pollen grains release out. And in the valvular type of the dehiscence of the anther, here what happens, suppose that the connective, the two anther lobes, okay, here the valvular, the opening up of the anther wall takes place. When the anther wall opens, the inner, the microspores, they shed out or they release out, comes out. In this fashion, the endothecium of the wall of the anther play a very significant role in opening up of the wall. Means what? In the dehiscence of the anther or the release of the microspores or the pollen grains from the inner microsporangium. This endothecium lies next to the epidermis, that is beneath the epidermis there lies the endothecium. This endothecium, it is a fibrous layer. It is a fibrous layer made up of the fibrous bands, made up of the fibrous bands. I will show you here. Suppose that this is the epidermis, epidermal cells, endothecium. Endothecium cells are identical and this is the middle layer. Okay, middle layer. All the cells of the middle layer are also identical. This is the tapetum. Like this. Epidermis, endothecium, middle layer, tapetum. Together termed as a wall of the anther. The fibrous layer shows the presence of the fibrous bands here. These fibrous bands are made up of alpha cellulose and pectin substances. The hygroscopic nature of the endothecium cells, it is very important. The endothecium made up of the fibrous bands. It is a fibrous layer lying beneath the epidermis. These fibrous bands contain alpha cellulose, sometimes lignin and pectin. The hygroscopic nature of the endothecium layer helps for the dehiscence of the anther. So the dehiscence of the anther takes place in 4 different ways, as I already mentioned. Longitudinally, transversely, and in at the tip of the anther, anther lobes, and valvular type. So yet on maturity of the anther of the microsporophyll, the wall of the microsporangium, as it is composed of the endothecium, the hygroscopic nature of the endothecium, it helps for the dehiscence of the anther. Next to the endothecium, there lies a middle layer. Middle layer actually contain number of layers of the cells, usually 2 to 3 layers of the cells. All the cells are identical. Yet in very earlier stages of the growth and development of the microsporangium in the microsporophyll, these layers of the cells contain the food granules in the form of the starch. So as they contain the food molecules, actually gradually on the maturation, what happens, the cells of this middle layer also they disintegrates. Means what, whatever the food material that they contain, they supply the same to the inner growing the sporogenous cells or the archisporium cells. In this fashion, the growth and development of the wall of the anther takes place gradually around the microsporangium. Next to the middle layer, there lies a tapetum. Tapetum is nothing but it is the innermost layer of the anther wall that directly abutting upon the sporogenous tissue or sporogenous cells or archisporium cells known as the tapetum. Different types of tapetums are observed and studied in different plants. Anyhow, tapetum is a nutritive tissue. It is a nutritive layer. That directly abutting upon the inner sporogenous cells is known as the tapetum. The cells of the tapetum are wedge. Cells of the tapetum are wedge shaped. They contain a prominent nucleus and dense amount of the cytoplasm. So the tapetum play a very significant role in growth and development of the microspores or the pollen grains within the microsporangium. This is considered to be as the nutritive layer of the tissue that nourishes the growth and development of the sporogenous cells, the spore mother cells, and later on the spore tetrads, nothing but the pollen grains, nothing but the pollen grains. The tapetum, it is highly highly important, highly, it play a very significant role in the growth, in the nourishment of the inner sporogenous cells and the archisporium. So the process of the formation of the haploid microspores within the microsporangium is otherwise termed as the microsporogenesis. But actually we are studying about the development of the microsporangium and the structure of microsporangium, structure of the microsporangium. So the wall of the anther wall, epidermis, next it is the endothecium and middle layer and tapetum. Here it lies the microsporangium with the archisporium cells, also called the sporogenous cells. The sporogenous cells, they are individual. They lies within the locule of the microsporangium freely in such a way that earlier all the sporogenous cells are somewhat grouped together and appears like the tissue, the sporogenous tissue or a sporogenous tissue. From this, the mass of the sporogenous tissue gradually, as the maturation of the anther occurs and it continues, from this the sporogenous tissue, the cells, they gradually become free from each other. In this fashion, what happens actually, as they contain the diploid nucleus at an earlier stages, the nucleus of the sporogenous cells divides meiotically and later on mitotically to form the four nuclei. The two nuclei and four nuclei, like this, the four nuclei. Each and every sporogenous cell, as they contain the four nuclei, as at the later stages of the growth and development. Earlier, the sporogenous cells contain only one nucleus. Later on, this nucleus divides meiotically and later on mitotically to form the four nuclei. This is followed by the wall development around them. Like this. The development of the wall takes place. That is, the cytoplasmic contents they separate around the nucleus. What happens? The spore tetrad will be formed. One, another, like this. This is nothing but the pollen grain tetrad. From a single sporogenous cell of four pollen grains or microspores will be formed. All of them are haploid in nature. So this is nothing but the microsporogenesis. Microsporogenesis occur within the microsporangium of the microsporophyll. So this is the development of the microsporangium, the structure of the microsporangium and microsporogenesis. I will complete here. I will stop here and I shall continue in the next class. Thank you.